It's me, Sameena Zehra, and at this year's TAHI Festival, I am doing a show called Tea with Terrorists, which is a story of how I ended up having tea with some terrorists in Kashmir, as you do. I've been doing solo work for a very, very long time. It's all sorts of different types of works, mainly storytelling. I would describe myself as a storyteller, but I do that as a comedian and a singer-songwriter and a actor and a writer. So it's a lot of mixed things. I have a short attention span.
Indian bureaucracy, though, it's an art form. One of these days, it's going to win the Turner Prize. And then we'll just put it in the British Museum with all the other stolen Indian artifacts. The Indian High Commission in London is a prime example. A few years ago, I decided to get an OCI visa. It's an Overseas Citizen of India. It's a lifelong visa, and you get it if you are of Indian origin. At the same time, my husband, by virtue of being married to me, was getting a 15-year visa, which is called a PIO card, a person of Indian origin, which makes no sense, because my husband is an ex-rugby playing blues singer from the East End of London. Not in any way a person of Indian origin. It's white as an egg. Anyway.
Making a solo work just depends on the work itself and what genre it's in and why you're making it. The work that I'm making this year for TAHI started its life as a comedy show. It was a 1-hour comedy thing that I took to Edinburgh Fringe over 10 years ago. And I thought I'd do it for maybe a year or 2 years. I like to do shows. That's the joy of doing live performance, actually, that you can do it over a period of time and keep developing it and letting it settle in. And I never really feel a show is settled in till I've done it 50 or 60 times. And then I thought that'd be it. And I've done other shows and stuff, but it keeps coming back because apparently people still want to hear the story. And it's morphed over the years from a sort of comedy storytelling stand-up show into what it is now, which is a 75-minute theatre show. In terms of the process of making a show and being in my writing space and how I do it, it just depends. I don't tend to write a show to begin with. I tend to talk to myself a lot, pacing up and down, and record what I'm saying. And then, you know, I'll be ranting or muttering or whatever it is for quite a while. And then I listen to it back, and there'll be maybe like 5 minutes worth of interesting or stuff that I think, yeah, I want to explore that further. But my shows are not written. They are speak. And then eventually I will put them down and then edit them. And I will write them the first time longhand. I don't write straight onto computer because I write faster than I can type. I percolate a lot. So I don't do anything for ages. And then I start stressing myself out that I haven't done enough. But it tends to all come out in one big go. So my challenge really is to trust my process. And it's taken me a long time to do that because with the best will in the world, sometimes you go, oh, I wish I was as disciplined as somebody to sit down for 3 hours a day and do my writing. And I wish I could do this. But actually, that's not my process. My process is a lot of percolating and doing nothing, and then rewriting my show on the morning of the opening night. I don't recommend it. It's like, but every time it happens and I think, oh, I wish I'd done this like 2 weeks ago. My husband always says, this is your process. This is how you do it. Just lean into it. It's going to be brilliant. And he's sort of, obviously he's very biased, but he's right. It's just trusting your own process and trusting what you do. I mean, I think it's really important to get an outside eye on your work, especially once you've got the basics of it going. I will always ask for feedback from, I have 2 or 3 go-to people whose opinions I trust and whose taste I trust and who understand me and my work and what I'm trying to do. It's very often people will want to give you feedback as to how they would have done the show. That is not useful feedback, and you should never take it. Useful feedback is a person who understands what you're trying to say and how you do it and facilitates your process. But very, very early on, I had a sort of mentor, a person who encouraged me to do comedy. And in the first iteration of this show, of Tea with Terrorists, I did the first half hour for him when I had it ready. And he literally just said to me, he said, oh, this is amazing, I want you to work on this more. This bit is rubbish, what is it, throw it out. And this bit is great, but it doesn't belong to this show. And he was absolutely right, and he saved me like 4 months of writing nonsense. So find somebody like that. That's a really good thing to do. And I have a few people like that I will always go to. And then it's a matter of also trusting your own artistic judgment and vision. You can't write anything by committee. You can't make a piece of work by committee. You have to trust what you're doing, but definitely take advice and feedback from people you respect.